God ordained time, he came back to his home, to his roots, and therefore all glory be unto God for the work that PDP has been able to achieve since 2003 to date in this state. And therefore, it is important that we do not allow that to be dumped in the trash can overnight. I give a simile, an example. A number of illustrious sons and daughters of this nation were called in 2014 to look at the problems of the nation, and they came up with a documented report that runs into hundreds, if not thousands of pages, popularly referred to today as the National Confab Report of 2014. And it gave a roadmap of how we can solve some of our domestic issues, our ethnic conflicts, our tribal issues. More importantly, how we can define our working relationship together as a diverse people constituted into a federal republic called Nigeria. And guess what? Jonathan, as the former president, could have started the implementation, but he didn't want to play politics with the decisions of well-meaning Nigerians. And he said, when we have the next election, we will leave it to either myself or my successor if I lose.
But I don't think that was a tool for winning election at that point in time.
It wasn't, because he lost.
No, but as at the time it was contesting, it was promising that if you vote me in, I will implement.
It was necessary. It's necessary to do the right thing at the right time. If I don't pay my child's school fees in the term, my child sits down at home and loses his education. And guess what? It means that he repeats the class. Do the necessary things at the right time. So to do the report, to do the Confab conference was right. Whether he was going to win or lose wasn't the issue. But guess what? That product, which is alive today on the pages of, or on the face of pages of a Confab report, has been confined to the dustbin, i.e. put it in archive, because it's not a priority, quote unquote, Mr. President. And that is one of the reasons why we in the PDP are very dogged about the project we have for this state. That we don't want a successive government who don't understand how to drive this vehicle to come over and take over the issue. Second point of our doggedness is that we have a brand. Iroko has raised the bar on governance in the last 7 going to 8 years. It is no longer a Mickey Mouse affair. It is no longer I relocate from a place in Ogbomoso or Ibadan and I think that I can rule my people without having any ideas, concepts, or manifesto. It's no longer a case of going onto a podium and speaking for 10 minutes in Idori and telling us that you are going to, and we don't see any examples that you can give of where it has been done. Look at Oyo State. Give us an example of why we should vote in APC. There's none. Give us Osun State. Give us an example. There's none. Give us Ogun State. There's none. Give us Imo State. There's no good example that we can plow on and say this is the reason why we should vote APC. So Mimiko has raised the bar, and we need that to continue. And guess what? We have a ticket in Eyimafo, Eitayo Jegede, and Olajuwon Mafo. They are a package that are taking the Iroko revolution to the next level. And guess what? The third reason, all the injustice that is now being meted on the PDP and Eitayo has clearly shown that we need to be defenders of the ordinary people. Because nobody, absolutely nobody is going to help Ondo State electorate unless we fight this fight. When you go and you use backdoor to get a judgment, and then they now want to challenge the judgment, and you say a panel that hasn't even been constituted is corrupt, it just goes to show that you want to conceal all the negativity and bad work that's been done. So there are so many reasons why the fight for justice in the courtroom has been elongated by our people. You saw the protests that happened on the streets of Ondo State last week, not just in Akure, but across the state. Spontaneous. People coming out to say, we will not agree. Our man
there are
must be...
reports that your party sponsored the protests.
They can say what they like. We all went to bed at 11 p.m. when something was published. They waited until all of us left our offices, went to bed before they paced the list. In the morning at 6 a.m., people were on the streets, and they say, we organize it, then we must be brilliant at organizing or doing midnight organization. And that is why, again, PDP will take credit if they say we organize it. But the truth of the matter, and let's set the record straight, this was spontaneous reaction by our people who felt that this is an injustice. If Eyitayo Jegede is not given an opportunity to contest, then the ordinary electorate in Ondo State will not be given an opportunity to express his voice either for or against him.
Now, if Jimoh Ibrahim wins in court, if Jimoh Ibrahim wins in court, what will PDP Ondo State do?
My father died in 1999, to be precise, February the 8th, 1999. If my father comes back to life, then I'll have my dinner tomorrow. That if is not going to happen. Jimoh Ibrahim, the man is not interested in this contest. Tell me one place in Akure that you can see a poster of Jimoh. And this is the capital city. That if, my brother, is not going to happen. The only thing that can happen is that we can give Jimoh a soft landing. Call him back home and say, "Oh boy, you are one of us, don't do that again, don't be naughty." It was bad publicity for Ondo State. But to think that Jimoh could possibly be declared, it's an if that's not going to happen. It's an if that is not going to happen. I am so confident. I keep telling our supporters, and I keep on telling them second by second, sleep with both eyes closed. Because when the judges are allowed to consider the facts of this matter, it is clear and glaring that Jimoh is not a candidate of any party. Not even a court party of which he's a member. So that if is not going to happen, bro.
Okay. All right, with all the legal tussles, do you still see Eyitayo Jegede contesting this election?
Yes.
What makes you that confident?
101%.
What makes you that confident?
Because the facts are on ground. When somebody left here, went to Ibadan, and organized a kangaroo primary.
Yeah.
And you are saying it's PDP organized primary. There are no delegates, just rented some people, some thugs in Molete to do a primary. It's as if, it's just a case of when someone wants to contest for the post of presidency in Nigeria, he goes to Cotonou, in the Republic of Benin, to do his primary.
Okay.
And now comes back that, okay, well, since the primary in Cotonou has thrown me up as the candidate of the party, then I'll come to Nigeria and contest. So I'm confident that Eyitayo will win the case and will contest.
Okay.
In Ondo State.
Well, on the final note, Minga, what do you have to say to the people of Ondo State before we bring the show to a close?
Again, I give a very, very encouraging note to our supporters that Eyitayo Jegede and Olajo Mafo will certainly be our candidates at the end of this judicial tussle. I also give a very good and confident word to electorate of Ondo State that barring an INEC intervention on the 26th of November, Eyitayo Jegede will be available for you to choose from. And given the monumental task that has been concluded by Olusegun Mimiko, there's only one direction. There's only one way to go. The umbrella is there. Rain or shine, the umbrella is there for you. And we will continue the good work we've done so far.
Well, it spends up on the show this week, and my guests have been Mr. Bidemi Akinde. It was nice having you around.
Thank you very much.
And also a barrister at law, Benga Akimo, your special assistant to the Ondo State Governor and Media. It's nice having you around too, Garo.
It's been a pleasure.
Okay, I must also thank sincerely the publicity secretary of the People's Democratic Party in Ondo State, Honorable Banji Okwama, who called the show live from Abuja. So thank you to you. My name is Adiolu Boyega. I'll be back again next week with maybe some other guests on Setting the Record Straight. Thank you very much for staying tuned to the Juicer Station. Good afternoon. Yeah.